for tuning into this Sunday episode. To know or debrief last week's live chats with Jordan Seller, our Adelaide Prepare Like a Pro coach, as well as Pip Taylor, the former performance dietitian at the Brisbane Lions. Discuss the upcoming live chats. We've got 3 live interviews this week, as well as 2 podcasts that will drop, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. And of course, we're super pumped. Gyms are finally back open in Melbourne, so we'll discuss about some future programs that are going ahead with our coaching program. But to start with, a little bit of a debrief from last week's chat. We discussed Geordie's journey in the strength and conditioning industry. He was an athlete first, and that's where he discovered his passion for performance as a basketballer, playing as a high-level basketball and getting exposed to strength and conditioning and athletic training. And then he mentioned how that sort of helped him decide what his career path would be. He got in contact with a coach from the Adelaide Crows and was lucky enough to get an internship. As he mentioned, it wasn't exactly what he expected as a strength and conditioning coach, but he jumped at the opportunity, being a video analysis. So for those that aren't aware, in the AFL, you'll have a couple of video analysis and some filming training. Some will go out to community and film games for recruiting purposes. So Geordie did it all. And he mentioned how helpful and how much he actually enjoyed it and saw it as a potential career path if he didn't get employed as a strength and conditioning coach by the club. But he did also put in extra, and he talked about the importance of S&Cs putting themselves out there and making sure you're getting quality experience. He was unfortunately, like myself, part of the cuts for the COVID soft cap price reductions that were made in the AFL in 2020. So he went back into state league football, working in the SANFL, and was super successful, being involved in 2 premierships at that level, which is an amazing feat, and how special he said it was being a part of that. And then now he's doing big things back in the Adelaide Crows, managing the AFLW women's program. So we're super lucky to have Geordie as part of our team. It's great to have a representative in Adelaide. We've worked with a few Adelaide athletes on our online program over the last year and a half, and super excited to have now a coach that can do face-to-face sessions with Geordie. So if you are in Adelaide and you're listening to this either live or in the podcast world and you want to work with Geordie one-on-one, all you need to do is to email us at jack@preparelikeapro.com. And if you put the subject heading podcast, that will immediately put you in the VIP list. I'll definitely get back to you within the 24 hours because, as we know, our podcast listeners are great clients. So really happy to skip the list and get you straight into a free trial. So if you're interested, make sure to reach out, guys. We also had Pip Taylor, another great chat and a fantastic interview. Really fortunate to have Pip on. We discussed firstly her former professional triathlete experiences, and she talked about how much she got from and how important nutrition was as a pro athlete, especially in the sports of triathlete, being so demanding on the body and constantly pushing the body to improve. She has huge passion, you can tell, for health and performance, and really educating athletes to get better and improve their lifestyle habits and how important habits are, particularly for developing athletes. So I thought that was a really informative chat. And for those that missed the live chat on Friday at 12 p.m., make sure to watch it on our YouTube channel. We'll post a highlights reel on our Instagram tonight at 7 p.m. so you can get a bit of a taste. But we went into not only what she did as an athlete, but the work that she did at the Brisbane Lions, working as their performance dietitian, some of the things that she found helpful for those athletes, whether you're trying to put on muscle or drop body fat, and also not to compare yourself to other athletes about your body composition, but ultimately you're going to be measured by your performance as a footballer. So make sure that's where you're putting your energy and focusing all your efforts on that goal, not how you look or what you're doing outside of football. It's all about how you feel as an athlete, how you're recovering, and how you're performing on the field. So I thought that was a really good philosophy, and she discussed actually how much it helped her to support the athletes at Brisbane by not knowing the sport, and just dealing with the athletes as a person, and whatever challenges they had. She didn't have any, wasn't blinded by the sport, so to speak. It was purely dealing with the person who was in front of her, and how she found that actually really helped her as a practitioner. And she said, as well as Geordie, where we talked about COVID cuts, she now sits on the board of the Australian Sports Dietitian. She's heavily involved in that, supporting sports dietitians that work in the AFL, and how nutrition was an area that was also cut in the development space across the board. So there's some things they're putting in place over the next couple of years that will no doubt help developing athletes get exposed to nutritional help, whether it be cooking classes, um, or even just upskilling your ability to make good decisions when at the grocery store. So watch this space. Really looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. And yeah, as soon as we hear, we'll make sure to post it on our socials and announce on our podcast. Um, I know a lot of the athletes on our program are super eager to learn and grow with their nutrition and fueling their training. In terms of upcoming guests this week, we've got three huge interviews coming up. We've got JB Morin. For those that don't know JB, or the S&Cs probably will, but for the athletes that don't know JB Morin, he is in France, so it'll be another international interview, which is exciting. He is a real specialist when it comes to sprinting and sprinting performance for athletes. So really looking forward to having a specialist on that has done so much research in this space, and yeah, looking forward to diving into some deep topics all around improving your speed and power as an athlete. So that will be 8 p.m. Tuesday night for those that want to watch. All our live chat interviews are on our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do. You'll receive a notification as soon as we go live, so you won't be able to miss any of these live chats. And they're super dynamic as well. If you're new to the podcast, obviously, that will be the recording when you listen to the podcast recording. But if you want to get engaged with these live events, you can actually send through questions via our YouTube channel, and I'll make sure that we get to those questions so you get involved into the podcast, which is always good fun. We have Don Scott, who co-hosts with Sammy Newman You Can't Be Serious podcast. So he'll be live. There'll be a face-to-face podcast like I did with Sammy Newman. And the time is to be confirmed, but we're looking for, at the moment, we've penciled in Wednesday, 12 p.m. So for those interested in joining in that live interview, make sure to tune in 12 p.m. Wednesday. The night before on Tuesday, I'll definitely announce the specific time, but at this stage, it's 12 p.m. Wednesday. So really looking forward to sharing Don. He's a legend of the game, ex-AFL or former AFL Hawthorn Premiership captain. So really looking forward to sharing his story. And then on Thursday night, we have the Collingwood Football Club's sports psychologist. So that will be on at 8 p.m, sharing Jackie Lauder's story and her journey, and another area where we've got a specialist on and an expert. So it would be great to dive into the mental game, both from a recovery point of view, a well-being point of view. It's such an important space and a growing area. Obviously, the training point of view with football hasn't changed a great deal in terms of what we do in the gym and on the field. It has had some changes over the years, but the mental space seems to have had a big amount of growth, and I'm really looking forward to discussing that with Jackie, as well as some helpful tips and tricks for athletes to learn to improve their recovery, with things like mindfulness, meditation, but also how to reflect on your game and how to be a bit easier on yourself when it comes to those that are really critical and can beat themselves up a little bit. So important of staying positive and getting that balance right between reflecting on areas you can improve and getting better, but also focusing on the things that you're doing well too. So it'd be good to have another sports psychologist on the podcast. And then our upcoming podcast episodes for this week will be Geordie Seller, our Adelaide high performance manager from the Adelaide Crows, as well as the Prepare Like a Pro coach based in Adelaide. That will be on Tuesday. And we have Rebecca Alcock, on Friday, the Melbourne Football Club sports dietitian. So Premiership dietitian will be launched on Friday. Really looking forward to both those episodes. And you can watch the premiere to get a bit of a taste of those episodes. We launch the premiere on our YouTube channel the night before. So Monday night at 8 p.m, you can watch Geordie Sellers' episode. That's about 6 minutes worth of highlight reels, like 30-second clips. So you get a bit of an idea of what to expect from the episode before watching it, listening to it the next day. And then for Rebecca Alcox, we'll launch that Thursday night at 8 p.m. So you can watch the recording, get a bit of an idea of what you can get out of that podcast recording on our YouTube channel. It would be silly of me not to celebrate the fact that Melbourne is opening up. Super pumped for all our Melburnians. It's been a tough time and really challenging for those that have been running or working in gyms, all the gym owners. I know all our Edge training community, both members, coaches, and the owners. It's been tough. We opened the gym in January, and it's been closed more than it's been open due to lockdown. And then for the wider the community, Melbourne's been recorded. Gyms have been closed for more than a year, so more than 365 days over the last year and a half. Gyms have been closed, so incredibly challenging time, but exciting that we are opening up this Friday, the 29th at 6 p.m. So for those athletes in Melbourne that want to get back into gym training, make sure I was just talking to my athletes before. Every Sunday I have a presentation, and this week's topic to the athletes was all about gradual progression with your gym loads. If you haven't touched a barbell for 6 or 8 weeks, don't just go straight into lifting really heavy. Make sure you trust the process, follow the program as it's written. And for those that don't have a program, maybe jump on our free trial. All you need to do is subscribe to our email list, and you can get a 7-day trial, which will be appropriate loading for integrating back into the gym. Also gives you a taste of our online program. But you don't want to just go straight into it. You may feel really good, but you don't want to go back to the numbers you were lifting prior to this lockdown. Make sure you ease into it. Focus on attacking your running if you've been doing running for the last few weeks, and just gradually build up your gym loads. That's really, really important to be able to make sure that you time your run and you don't break too early. Pre-season's all about consistency and just crediting in those reps over the 20 weeks or so the pre-season goes for. And in terms of those that want to work with us at Prepare Like a Pro, all our Melbourne coaches do work out of a gym. So if you're interested in some private training, we've got Dylan in the Box Hill area, we've got Kane in Spotswood area, Ben out in Cranbourne, Tom in Victoria. So if you're interested in any private coaching or to jump on our individualized coaching program, all you need to do is email us at jack@preparelikeapro.com, or you can fill out the athlete inquiry in our Instagram bio by clicking the link there in our bio and filling out the 7-day trial, where I'll give you a call and you'll get a 7-day free trial like I mentioned earlier. So there's a couple of ways to get started. That's pretty much it, guys. It's been a big week. I've got the Australian Strength and Conditioning Association Level 3 course, which I'll be really looking forward to. Actually, one of the podcast guests, Lockie Wilmot, who's been on the show, is presenting on that Level 3 course. It's something I've been looking to do for the last few years, and due to COVID, it's going to be online, so that'll be interesting. But we've also got Dan Baker, who's the president of the association and also been on the podcast. He'll be running us through some things. So really looking forward to that. There's also a whole host of other practitioners that will be presenting to us, and really looking forward to learning off those experts, as well as meeting some other colleagues in the industry. So that's a bit of a highlight for me and something I'm looking forward to. It was also my first opportunity to present at the Australian Strength and Conditioning Association. A bit of a weird one because that's online too. So I did present on my computer and send in the recording. So I've got no idea. I believe the conference will obviously be presented in a few weeks' time. So you've got no idea how it's been received. But hopefully those that listen to it, it's helpful for you. It was presented on something that I'm really passionate about, and I'll share that once the conference starts and it's out there. I'll share that in the podcast world and maybe provide a bit of a update for those that didn't go to the conference, what you can expect from that recording, and make sure that our podcast listeners get a bit of the learnings from it as well. But thanks for tuning into this episode. Like always, if you have any questions or queries, make sure to reach out. I have been also doing a couple of debrief chats straight after the episodes on the new Wisdom app. It's an American platform, but no doubt it will pop up in Australia. We seem to be the little brother of America with some of these things, so especially the tech stuff. So I'm sure, or little sister, I'm sure we'll follow suit with that. It's going off in America. It just launched last week, and I'm one of the lucky enough to have an account with Wisdom and being able to share my podcast highlights on there. So if you're interested, download the app and I'll debrief all our chats directly after I host them. But you can also join me and help me debrief those chats if you listen to them live on our YouTube channel. See you on the next episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in.